Only thing I know is I have to do it. The second thing, I just hear my heart beating, boom, 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 boom. I'm scared. I'm scared of hell, really. Sometimes I just scared, cannot sleep on the whole night.
It's really hard to believe that it's been 40 years since Jackie Chan made Police Story. My first introduction to Jackie and his films was when I was a wee young lad at the age of 7. Every morning to get to school, I would pass the local corner shop. At that time, video rentals were a hot thing, and they would advertise films to rent on the windows. So I saw the poster for Rush Hour, seeing Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker intrigued me. Growing up with not much money, I wasn't able to rent it. Luckily, a year later, BBC One would air the film on TV. To the people living in America, there were basic channels in the UK: BBC One, BBC Two, ITV, Channel 4, and 5. After watching that film, I was hooked and wanted more Chan goodness. Then a few years later, he would appear on a Saturday morning block called SMTV Live, which had British presenters Anton Deck and Kat Deely interviewing Jackie, who was promoting Shanghai Noon. Great film, love it. But they asked about how he has a metal plate in his head following a stunt gone wrong. Obviously we know what that was, but to many people that don't, it was from Armour of God. So it really got me curious about his past catalogue of films. That was granted to me when CNX arrived in the UK. I spoke about it briefly in my Hong Kong Legends video about how they would show Asian films at 10 PM. Going back to my Hong Kong Legends video, please watch. I need more people, please. The one film that I did see that they showed was Police Story 2, because I never saw them show the first on TV. Probably did at one point, but sadly I didn't get to see it. Then I found out about the Hong Kong Legends label and finally got to see Police Story, and the rest is history. Now we can get back on track with the main course of the video. Police Story is more than just a film. It's a statement. It's raw, unfiltered action blended with jaw-dropping stunts and genuine comedy. This was Jackie Chan's answer to Western skepticism. A full-force declaration that not only redefined the action genre, but also propelled him into international stardom. Today we're going to be taking a look at its history, breathtaking stunts, its legacy, and why it remains a masterclass in action filmmaking. Buckle up, this is going to be a wild ride. To understand how we got to Police Story, we're going to have to take a little bit of a detour and explain the history behind it, and pretty much how he started out. So in the early 70s, Chan began his film career as a stuntman in Bruce Lee's Fist of Fury and Enter the Dragon. His willingness to take dangerous falls and perform high-risk maneuvers quickly set him apart. But even with those breakout appearances, Chan struggled to find his own identity. He was often cast as a Bruce Lee imitator, which he found creatively stifling. Jackie's ambition to break into Hollywood led him to films like The Big Brawl and Cannonball Run, with also The Protector. But I'll get into that in a second. Hollywood at that time couldn't comprehend his blend of humour, acrobatics and death-defying stunts. After the failure of The Protector from 1984, basically that film laid the groundwork for other films like Lethal Weapon and Tango and Cash. But instead of bending to their demands, Jackie returned to Hong Kong, determined to prove his vision of action cinema. He wanted to create something unique, something that would redefine what an action film could be. This burning desire led to Police Story. Police Story was born out of frustration and ambition. After his Hollywood attempts fell flat, Jackie wanted to show the world what a true action film looked like. No wires, no CGI, just pure adrenaline and physicality. He took full control, acting as director, lead actor, and stunt coordinator. The goal? To create the most intense, thrilling, and realistic action sequences ever put on film. Jackie gathered his own stunt team, known as the Singaban, and pitched his vision. It was a story of a Hong Kong cop, Chan Kar-kui, who battles corruption and crime whilst navigating explosive stunts and breathtaking fight sequences. The concept was simple, but Jackie's execution would be anything but that. The production of Police Story was grueling. Jackie pushed his body and his team to the absolute limit. Real glass, real explosions, real danger. There were no shortcuts. This commitment to realism would go on to become Jackie's trademark. Police Story kicks off with a bang. Chan Kar-kui, played by Jackie, is part of a massive police operation to bring down drug lord Chu Tao. The film wastes no time throwing the audience into one of the most chaotic and masterfully choreographed action sequences ever, the Shantytown chase. Amidst crashing cars and splintering buildings, Kar-kui captures Chu Tao, setting off a chain of events that sends him spiralling into danger and corruption. As the story unfolds, Kar-kui is framed for murder and forced to clear his name, while protecting a key witness, Selena. His loyalty is tested, his reputation is dragged through the mud, and he finds himself battling both criminals and the police force itself. One of the most memorable scenes in Police Story is the Shantytown chase, which sees Jackie Chan barreling through a hillside slum in a car, demolishing everything in its path. Bear in mind, this comes after a pretty cool shootout sequence as well. What many don't know is that the Shantytown wasn't a set, it was an actual hillside community. The film crew had purchased the rights to demolish the structures for real, giving the sequence a raw authenticity that even the best CGI can't replicate. This kind of commitment was standard for Chan. Wow, I can't believe I just said that. His philosophy was simple. If it looks dangerous, it should be dangerous. That authenticity translated to adrenaline-packed scenes that left audiences breathless. Straight after the car has finished tearing through the shantytown, the next big part of the chase happens. On a bus! Which the drug lord hijacks and tries to escape into the city of Hong Kong. Armed with an umbrella and sonic-like speed, Jackie then hooks onto the back of the high-speed bus before being able to grab onto the window, hanging on for dear life as the bus swerves around a corner. Originally, the umbrella was a wooden one, but Jackie's hands kept slipping, so it had to become a metal one. After being thrown off, he then has to run down a steep hill to get ahead. With the bus hurtling towards him, Jackie loads up his pistol and aims at the thug, fires into the air, causing the driver to slam on the brakes. The force of the brake causes the men to break through the front glass and land on the concrete floor. In the end credits, you can see attempts of getting it right, with the bus almost crashing into him. The version you see in the film was the one time it was done right. If you look at Jackie's reaction of the guys on the floor, he basically wants to tend to them, but needs to get the shot of him going around the bus. I know I spent a lot of time talking about this one, I just love how simple, dangerous, and badass it is. The glass-smashing, bone-breaking climax of Police Story is the stuff of legend. Filmed in a massive shopping mall, the sequence features Chan and his team smashing through display cases, kicking people downstairs, and was also nicknamed Glass Story just because of how much glass is smashed in this film. Glass manufacturers got paid! After all this destruction, it all came down to the final stunt of the film to wrap up this adrenaline-fueled action epic. In order to get down to catch up with the bad guys of our story, Jackie leaps from a balcony. What makes this even more impressive is the fact that Chan performed the stunt himself with no safety wires. The light bulbs were real and the electricity was live, causing Chan to suffer second-degree burns on his hands. He also dislocated his pelvis and fractured his vertebrae upon impact. Jackie's crew was so terrified that they nearly refused to let him do it, but his insistence paid off. It remains one of the most jaw-dropping stunts ever captured on film. Not every iconic moment in Police Story is an action sequence. One of my personal funniest moments of the film comes when Karkoy juggles multiple phones in the police station. This scene was done in a single take, entirely improvised by Chan, showcasing his skills in physical comedy. And also the amount of times that you see him trying to flick and get this pencil to get into his hand. My man, you do too much to yourself. Jackie's commitment to realism isn't just for show. It's his philosophy. His belief that the audience should feel the impact of every hit drove him to push his body to its absolute limit. He wasn't just making movies, he was setting the bar for what action films could be. When Police Story hit theatres in 1985, it redefined what audiences expected from action films. Hong Kong cinema had always been known for its martial arts choreography, but Jackie Chan raised the stakes by integrating large-scale stunts and relentless physicality. The Shantytown car chase, bus chase, and the glass-shattering mall brawls set new benchmarks for action filmmaking, not just in Hong Kong, but globally. Jackie's insistence on realism resonated with audiences. For the first time, people saw a hero who didn't rely on wires or special effects. Instead, every jump, every punch, and every crash was real. This authenticity became the new standards in Hong Kong cinema. Directors like John Woo, as we know from A Better Tomorrow, The Killer, Face Off, and Tsui Hark, who you may know who did Once Upon a Time in China, Double Team, they all took note, pushing their own action sequences to new heights, blending visceral combat with emotional storytelling. The Western world couldn't ignore Police Story forever. The film's impact eventually crossed the Pacific, with filmmakers studying Chan's choreography and commitment to practical stunts. Hollywood action scenes, which had primarily been shootouts and car chases, began to incorporate more physicality and complexity. You can see Jackie's influence in the frenetic energy of the Lethal Weapon films, the choreography of The Matrix, and the slapstick action of Rush Hour, the one I spoke about earlier. His impact even stretched into video games, with games like Sleeping Dogs and Stranglehold, a John Woo project. Clearly drew inspiration from Chan's stunt work and Hong Kong cinema's gritty aesthetic. The success of Police Story spawned an entire series. Police Story 2 continued the saga, ramping up the stunts and refining the narrative. This time, Chan Kar-koi faced off against bombers and corruption, upping the stakes with even more daring action sequences. Then came Super Cop, Meet the Cop That Can't Be Stopped, which introduced Michelle Yeoh, whose athletic prowess and martial arts skills matched Jackie's energy, leading to one of the most thrilling action duos in cinema history. Their rooftop motorcycle jump is still considered one of the most dangerous stunts ever performed without wires. The series continued with Police Story 4 First Strike, stretching its scope to international espionage. And then New Police Story in 2004, which rebooted the franchise with a darker, more introspective tone, reflecting Chan's aging hero wrestling with failure and redemption. And Police Story 2013 marked a dramatic shift, showcasing Chan in a grittier, more subdued role. While it lacked the frenetic energy of the originals, it was proof of Chan's versatility and willingness to evolve as an actor. Before Police Story, most action films relied heavily on cutaway shots, stunt doubles, and modest choreography. Jackie Chan pretty much ripped up that rulebook. His insistence on wide-angle shots, long takes, and visible stunt work became the new gold standard. Audiences could see the actors, specifically Chan, actually performing the action. No quick cuts, no hidden pads, no CG magic. If Chan crashed through a glass pane, you saw it, uncut and brutal. This dedication to real stunts forced action films to step up. You can see Chan's influence in the one-take fight sequence of Oldboy, the choreography of John Wick, and the practical stunts of Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. Hollywood finally understood that tangible danger on screen resonated deeper with audiences. Another groundbreaking element of Police Story is its seamless blend of
action and comedy.
Chan wasn't just fighting, he was entertaining. His comedic timing during fights, like fumbling with telephones or accidentally knocking himself out, became his signature. He turned pain into punchlines and clumsiness into choreography. This unique style influenced filmmakers around the world. When Police Story was released, it was met with critical acclaim for its audacious stunt work and inventive action sequences. Critics praised Jackie Chan not only as a physical performer, but also as a director who knew how to shoot action for maximum impact. The film won Best Film at the 1986 Hong Kong Film Awards, cementing its status as a cultural phenomenon. In 2016, Police Story was selected for preservation in the National Film Archive of Hong Kong for its historical and artistic significance. The film was released in the year of the 50th anniversary of the Hong Kong Police Force. Police Story isn't just an action film, it's a revolution. It's the product of Jackie Chan's relentless vision. Forged from frustration with Hollywood's limitations and fueled by his own desire to show the world what real action looks like. Its influence is felt in every modern action film that dares to push boundaries, throw real punches, and shatter real glass. Jackie Chan's insistence on doing it his way, no wires, no doubles, no safety nets, redefined the genre and forced the world to take notice. The Police Story series remains a masterclass in practical stunt work, a beacon of what's possible when filmmakers prioritize authenticity over convenience. And it all began with one man's refusal to be anyone but himself. And that's the legacy of Police Story, one of my favourite Jackie Chan films. I probably will do another video on a Jackie Chan film as time goes on, but, knowing that it's 40 years old, wow, I really didn't think it's been that long, but it has. And I just love it, and I wanted to talk about it for so long, and I'm so glad that I did. But, it's a film that didn't just raise the bar, it became the bar. Jackie's masterpiece continues to inspire, thrill, and leave audiences in awe decades after its release. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of action cinema's greatest achievements, Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more retrospectives, and share your favourite Jackie Chan moment in the comments below. As always, this is Nerdyboijay reminding you that sometimes it's not about dodging the glass, it's about smashing right through it. See you next time.